Starting. Hey, good morning. This is Paul Romero with SellaHouseArizona.com here today on Friday, August 8th, 2014, with the SellaHouse Wholesale Training Series Hangout number 7. And again, I want to start out just by letting you guys know that anybody can do this. I mean, John and I were a 50-something and a 30-something and a couple of dead-end jobs who just one day decided or chose to, change our lives. And, boy, did it really turn out to be quite a big change. But, it honestly doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, what line of work you're in. It does not matter where you went to school, heck, or even if you went to school. College, community college, if you got an MBA, if you got an associate's degree, if you only went to high school, junior high, heck, if you only went to grade school, none of this matters as far as being able to succeed at real estate wholesaling. I mean, it doesn't matter if you've ever been a homeowner or if you've always been a renter. It makes no difference. If you're a man or a woman, it makes no difference. If you're old or young, it makes no difference. I mean, it honestly doesn't matter if you are, if you were raised in the city. Doesn't matter if you were raised in a farm. Heck, doesn't matter if you were raised by wolves. Okay, anybody can do this. That's what it comes down to. As long as you are working within a system that is current and up to date, that makes sense with what's going on in today's world, and that you have the wherewithal inside of you to get out there and learn and grow. And that's the next two key factors that you have to have here. Is you have to have a willingness to learn. As long as you've got a willingness to learn, that you're actively and continually out there seeking new information, concepts, and ideas, and you're willing to look for this stuff and ingest it. And then the second part of it is the fact that you always remain teachable. And in teachable, meaning that you are always open to taking these new ideas, concepts, and systems, whatever, and actually applying them, seeing how they work, give them a test run, feel them out. You don't have to keep them. You don't have to use them. They may not fit for you. They may not, they may not even feel right. They may not work right. Whatever. But you have to be open enough to at least give them a shot, give it a run, and figure it out from there. So those are the two key factors you got to have in order to be successful at this or any business in life in general. And like I said, doesn't matter who you are, as long as you've got those two things, you've got every chance, just as good a chance as the next guy, just as good a chance as the richest guy to achieve whatever level of success that you're looking for. So today we're going to talk about we're going to reiterate here just a little bit that what you've got so far from these calls, and then we're going to move into the next step. So, John, why don't you give them a quick little catch-up on what we've run up through so far? And I know you kind of missed a call or two, so if there's any gaps, I'll fill them in.
Sounds great, Paul. How I'm doing out there. Paul, I just want to mention I like the very tropical today where you're at, and I heard some kind of loon or cockatoo bird chirping in the background there, so I like that.
Feeling kind of beachy today.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you're in wholesaling, you can hang out and be beachy, and everything works out fine. So some of the things we've talked about in this series is, number one, the key secret, I think that needs to be reiterated throughout, is that wholesaling isn't really about the real estate, though that's our back-end product, but the secret here is sales and marketing. So we've touched upon that being one of the big secrets, and also your willingness and ability to be teachable and learn and realize that you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone and make some changes in your life. That was kind of the groundwork that we laid, and then we got into some of the tools that you need in this business, which is a unique selling proposition, your business name and your business cards, professional email. We suggested Google. We talked about some of the tools that we can help you with, and that's in contracting properties, providing you with. We also talked about the idea of finding the right title company to do the proper closings. We do assignments, double closings, so you'll need to make sure you have a title company that will perform transactions in that manner, or if you're in a state that is closings are done by attorneys, that the attorney that you have understands and is willing to work with you in those types of closings. And I missed Wednesday's call, so if Paul wants to kind of quickly touch upon what he went over on Wednesday, I missed that call due to other obligations.
Yeah, exactly. The thing that final pieces of the tools that we threw out there were the fact that, eventually, well, not eventually, but sooner rather than later, these are things that don't necessarily have to have right now, but you want to put them on your list right behind your LLC, which the acquisition of your LLC, which is one thing you left out, and then and then have these things that are already on your list to add to your business so that you can start taking care of all aspects of it, and that is some way to be able to comp your properties. And we talked about potentially having a realtor on your team so that you can have access to the MLS listings, or some different softwares that are available, such as Net Value Central or whatnot. We talked about the inconsistency a little bit of the public sites like Zillow, Trulia, et cetera, and so on. Good for quick views, but you got to be real careful with those. And then we also talked about comping real estate agents. What was the other thing? One other thing out there. I'd have to look back at my notes, but anyway, you guys remember what it was. So today we want to get into now the fact that, hey, we just told you that, you've got everything you need to get started in getting deals, of course, because if you signed up with us, obviously, we've shown you already how to go out and exactly narrow down top quality leads with very little effort and very little cost, if any cost at all, really, except for maybe a little bit of your time. So you already got everything you need, all the tools and the hot leads. The only thing you're missing here so far out of the whole program to tie this all in and actually find a check, cash a check, is buyers, right? If you get a property, or not if, but when you get your first property deal, you're going to have somebody to sell it to. So what we want to talk about today is a little challenge for you, something to get you stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that is to head out to your local RIA, John. And why don't you give them a little insight on what they're going to do when they get to their RIA?
Yes, absolutely. Well, for those of you who don't know what a RIA is, basically it's a real estate investment association. And every state has one. Me and Paul, we're here in Arizona, so we go to ASRIA, hence Arizona Real Estate Investors Association. This is a great place to get started stepping out of your comfort zone, get in the room with like-minded individuals who are all investing in real estate in one facet or another. You'll meet wholesalers there, you'll meet fix and flip guys, rehabs, you'll meet contractors, you'll meet title agents, real estate agents, brokers, all the key people you're going to need to add to your team. And it's a great way to start going out and talking about real estate, engaging with other people who are in real estate. And Paul had mentioned the challenge. And the challenge that we would have for you is to get your butt down to one of these meetings. All you got to do is Google Real Estate Investors Association, or just Google RIA, R-E-I-A, and it will give you, guaranteed, it will give you information about a local real estate investment group. You find out the time, the meeting place, go down there, and make it a point to talk to a couple of people and seek out the buyers in the room. There's going to be several different types of buyers. You're going to want to have rehab buyers, guys that are buying property to fix and then flip, and you're also going to want to understand the difference between those buyers and the fix and flip buyers. I'm sorry, the buy and hold buyers, the guys who are buying property to hold for rental real estate. And then there's the wholesalers, which are typically doing what doing what you're attempting to do, but these are great people to get to know off the bat because they already have buyers and maybe they can help you close or bring a buyer to your first deal. But the challenge is to go down to the RIA group, seek out the buyers in the room, and talk to them. Let them know who you are. We stress the point of not faking it till you make it. But go in there with confidence and go and set your intention. Let people know, hey, I'm an investor who's looking to wholesale real estate. I have a marketing plan in place, and I'm finding properties, and now I'm just trying to build my buyers list. So what is it you're looking for? Let them do the talking. Just listen. You've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in proportion. And Paul's got a list of some very simple questions that you can use to ask the buyers to understand what they're looking for. And I want to just make one point here before I turn it back to Paul to give you a list of those questions, is that you're going to want to just listen and observe what the experienced buyers are doing in the marketplace. Every market's a little bit different. Ratios, buying ratios, the percentage of what a buyer will pay based on retail, it's going to be different in each market depending on the conditions of your market. So me and Paul can definitely give you some insight into different markets, but every market is different. So you're going to want to learn to observe and listen to what the buyers in your market are paying for property so that you know how to offer when you go out there to your sellers. And this is key to your learning. Let me turn it back to Paul. He's going to go over some of the questions that we feel you need to ask when you're down at the RIA meeting buyers.
Cool. Yeah, that's pretty much kind of the overview. And yeah, just to express a little bit further the excitement and energy and availability of what's at the RIA, like John said. I mean, there's going to be everyone from all walks of real estate at the RIA. There's going to be people just like you, so don't feel nervous. You're probably not going to be the only one there who's never been to a RIA. There's new people that show up to these things all the time. And so, you know, some of them come once and never come again. Some of them, you know, become locals and regulars and sign up and join and take the whole thing hog wild, which is where, you know, you're probably going to end up going as well. So, yeah, it's just a great place to get into the atmosphere of real estate, like-minded people who are all achieving, you know, working to achieve the same goal, basically, which is, you know, moving property in one way, shape, or another. Like I said, you know, you're going to catch, you know, title agents, closing attorneys, possibly, if that's what happens in your state, that are obviously looking for people there who can bring them business. So maybe you find your closing person at the RIA. You know, you're looking for real estate agents, obviously, who are looking for people who are they can add as buyers for themselves and or purchasers. You know, or who can bring them listings. So you might find your real estate agent there. And as he said, the 3 different types of buyers, you know, your fix and flip, your buy and hold, and your other wholesalers. And, you know, you may end up talking with any or all of those. We're going to encourage you on your first trip here to try and keep your ears open to listen for specifically buyers. And the challenge that we're offering here, because you know, some of you are starting off, you know, you're all going to be starting off at different levels. Some of you are going to be, you know, say like, hey, yeah, I'll run down to the RIA, no problem. You're going to have no problem walking up and talking to people and finding out what people are about. But you know what? I know that there's a whole lot of you who are going to start out just like I did, probably John himself as well, and where, you know, you go to the RIA for the first time, and if you spoke to one person that day, you probably felt like you accomplished something really huge. So, like I said, there's all levels of people that are jumping in on this right now, and wherever you're at makes no difference, but we are issuing a challenge. The challenge is basically for all of you, expressly those of you who this is hugely important for you to get out of your comfort zone and get started on your pattern of growth to get you to where you need to be to become successful in this. And that is to go to the RIA, and like John said, I'm going to just challenge you to at least talk to one person or one group of people, preferably. And I'm not talking about the guy that looks like he's there for the first time in the corner with the torn-up jeans and the tennis shoes. I'm talking about somebody that looks like they kind of know something a little bit about real estate. They're doing something in real estate, no matter how intimidated you might feel by that. And the whole idea, again, as John mentioned, is just to be yourself, and you'll be just fine with it. Okay. He talked about an approach and how to get in front of these people, how to initiate a conversation, et cetera, and so on. And looking at the idea of just first of all, just listening to conversations. That's why I said, maybe talk to a group of people. If just maybe two people obviously constitutes a group. So if there's two people talking, as you're kind of walking by, maybe slow down a little bit, kind of listen to their conversation. If it sounds like they're speaking about anything that has to do with, purchasing property or fixing property or, closing a deal or, anything along those lines of what a buyer might be talking about, then you can just kind of stop and let whoever's speaking, of course, be polite, let them finish their thoughts there. But then you can basically just ask a question like, excuse me, it sounds like you guys are talking about buying properties. I mean, it's just as simple as that. And they might be, oh yeah, we're just talking about how this, that, and the other thing. Oh, okay, hi, yeah, my name's Paul, and I'm kind of curious, what kind of properties are you guys buying, and what are you doing with them? I mean, there's two great questions right there, very simple questions that will, get you jump you right into a conversation with a couple other people, no matter how awkward it might seem or anything like that. It's a very cool, easy, simple flow right into it. Hell, it sounds like you guys are talking about buying properties. I mean, simple enough, and that's going to initiate them to talk. And then, of course, when you invite them to talk about what they're doing, then hey, all you got to do is sit back and listen, and they're going to talk your ear off because people like to talk about what they're doing, right, John?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. People love talking about themselves. And you know what? People at these REIA meetings, investors, they're looking for people like you. They're looking for people that have access to and can bring deals. Know that, understand that, and believe that confidence that what they're offering is a service to these investors. They actually want to talk to you. They want people to bring them deals. So keep that in mind when you go up and talk to people, is that they're there to meet people. And they're there to meet people like you, to talk about real estate, talk about themselves, talk about their business, because they're trying to attract the wholesalers or people down there that can help them in their business. And that's what you're there to do. You're finding out what they're buying so that you can find it for them, and add value and provide value so that you can make money, and that hence they want you so they can make money. So that's really all you've got to keep in mind. And as Paul said, it might be a little, for some people haven't done networking before, you might be a little nervous, feel a little awkward, but you should just keep in mind that everybody kind of feels the same way, and studies have shown that people have more in common than that they don't have in common. And at these networking meetings, I just can't stress enough that people are there to meet people, and everybody feels a little nervous and awkward, and there's really no reason to. So you shouldn't either, and you should understand that these people are going to want to tell you what they're buying because they're looking for what you have to offer, and that's access to great deals.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? There's probably going to come a point in the conversation, and this is, I'm going to close out with this because we're running up to our time limit here. But there's obviously going to be a point in the conversation where they're going to ask who you are and what you do. So that's just as scary, I know, coming from that side of never having done anything like this before, as it is to initiate a conversation with a stranger in the first place. So just a quick little something, like I said, like we both talked about, just be yourself, be honest. You don't need to try to be, hey, I'm the greatest wholesaler in the world, and I got hundreds of properties, and I'm buying properties from the banks at pennies on the dollar and selling them out at pennies on the dollar, and all this stuff that you're really not doing. It's like I said before, some of you might be able to pull that one off, but most of you probably can't. So don't even worry about trying to do that. Just be yourself, and you can just tell them straight out. Say, hey, look, I'm actually new at this, but I have a very successful mentor who's teaching me how to find off-market real estate deals, and I know that very soon, because this guy's brilliant. Oh, I'm sorry, not a little plug for myself there. No. But no, I know that really soon, because I mean, really, what he's teaching me is awesome and amazing, and I know it's going to work. That really soon, I'm going to have some really good off-market discount real estate opportunities available for guys like you to purchase. You know, I mean, I'd love to get one of your cards. I'd love to get your guys' cards and be able to follow up with you when I pull one of these in. I mean, it'd be great if it was one of you two that you know, bought my first deal. That'd be awesome. You know, so I mean, just something as simple as that. Let them know straight up, hey, I'm brand new at this, but you know what? I'm working with somebody who's helping me out and who's very successful at it, and that you know, I'm certain because of this relationship that I'm going to be successful at it too, and that I'm going to have deals coming up. So give me your contact information. You don't want to be giving them yours, because they'll probably never call you. Make sure you get theirs. So, you know, so the whole invitation of you know, I mean, I'd love you guys to be, you know, the one of the guys who buys my very first deal. That'd be awesome. You know what I mean? And they'll be more than happy to jump in on board. So I just wanted to throw that out there for a quick closing here. As far as you know, I mean, that's, you got 2 questions to ask, initiates a great conversation, and a nice closing line to talk about who you are yourself, and you can go to the ASRIA and you can meet anybody there and talk about anything. Isn't that right, John? I'm out, and this is John.
Yeah, everybody go out there, have a great weekend. Come to SellaHouseArizona.com and send us an email with maybe some suggestions for future topics that you'd like us to talk about. Actually, I'm hoping that we have some more people sign up. We've got a great program. We've got a couple people we're working with now. We're looking to add more, because, you know, part of the reason we're doing this is so we can build a team. And what we're trying to do is eliminate all the mistakes that you're going to make. And, you know, we can't eliminate them all. You're going to make some mistakes. But, you know, coming to Paul and I as mentors, we want to get you on the fast track and avoiding all the mistakes that we've made in this business, and get you pointed in the right direction. And, you know, there's a lot of programs out there that you can go and purchase for a lot of money. We're not offering that type of program with outdated things. What we're offering here is the opportunity to work with 2 mentors as part of our team and do what's working now in this market that is cutting edge. Not everyone's doing it, and we're going to basically hold your hand and guide you to this. I can't wait to hear from you over the weekend, and we'll see you all back here on Monday.
Real quick, I'm just going to throw one last thing in, John. You mentioned the programs and stuff that's out there, and I just happened to check out a couple last night, and we're going to get into that in a little bit in some upcoming calls. It was quite interesting. So, yeah, with that, we're out of here, guys.